He encouraged me to scream. To him, it was mocking me. He said, scream, that police officer that arrested me, your lover, he might come and rescue you, help you. Scream, your mother, and my mother is here and we're in India. She might come. And as I am, I'm hoping somebody might hear me, or I'm hoping my children will know that I died screaming. In the process, he crushed my knuckle. I did not let go. The more I screamed, the more he beat me up, kicked me in my mouth. I lost a tooth.
You're holding onto a
You're
pier,
holding onto the pier,
and he's trying to drown you.
And half of my body is actually in water. And I'm cold. And I'm thinking, what do I do? What do I do? And as I'm screaming, I hear my echo. Then I hear a man's voice that became very clear. Then I look up and I see a bright light. And I'm thinking to myself, that man has a really bright flashlight. I need it. And then after some struggle, him and my husband, I told this man that to help me. And I hear commotion, and he's gone. And I'm thinking in my head, you chicken, you too. You all left me. Do you not think of me? But I came back, bloodied, bruised, broken. But when I saw my children, everything was gone. I had one more night.
Is this the picture? Or just
This is a very similar picture of where my death was to be.
Kamal, I was fascinated because this enraged me. Number one, I have to admit, I was in trauma. I was sick. I was enraged. I wanted to punch him in these stories. And yet, I wondered, because have been in an abusive relationship like that, why didn't you just, I don't want to say kill him, but punch him and run? And as I kept reading, you said it's because you lived under this victim mentality. And I know for many women in abusive relationships, what keeps them there is their children, and also this mentality of being a victim and protection. Can you talk about that? Because I was kind of in a little turmoil as I was reading the book.
Yes, well, you just wanted to punch him. There were some others that wanted to actually do more than that. I had even thought of killing him. The thought had come across my mind. My fear was, would I be able to do it? What if he catches me in the process? Then I had the fear of, what would my children think of me? Then I thought of, will they lose both mom and dad? Then I thought of, maybe, there's a maybe, tomorrow he will change. Where would I go? Even if I punched him, he would outrun me.
And the tragedy, this was the wake up for me as you look at the statistics. It's in the fleeing that most women are killed.
Yes, that's what I said
terrible
earlier.
Trap.
It was safer for me to stay than to leave.
In the abuse, it's safer for you to stay within the abuse.
Yes, because he had threatened me that if you leave, not only will I find you, but I will take you to your parents.
Your relatives.
And I will shoot them in front of you. Then I'll kill you. And
demonic.
we'll run.
It's demonic.
Yeah.
And your children too, you were afraid for them, right? Like being there, you could protect them better.
Exactly, and I thought, even when I had left, I thought, how are they treating my girls? Boys, as Indian families, they love the boys, but my girls. And I was very worried about my older daughter who had a birthmark, and my mother-in-law always called her evil. And I needed to protect my girls and my boys, and so I fought within me. And even today, with an artificial jaw, with so many eye surgeries, with other surgeries, I keep going. Why? For my 4 children and for the millions of others that are suffering silently.
And we have pictures too, actually, of your jaw and what happened to it. You had to have surgery on it. This is, tell us what this is.
This picture actually was taken, I think, after the 8th or the 9th surgery, and that is 10 days afterwards.
Wow.
So, you know, imagine, it still has stitches. Going through that, and I have an artificial jaw, so I don't feel my face, but I live with chronic pain.
So he punched you and he broke your jaw?
That's where he would hit me. He wanted people to see my face being bruised. He actually felt quite proud. That and the other thing was, when I bled, he would be happy. And then he'd ask me, do you want more? Is this enough?
One of the most chilling stories is when your husband doused you with kerosene and then handed you the matches. I'm bringing this up because there's an irony in the burning and the not burning. Can you capsulize that?
After he took me to the ocean, he wasn't satisfied because to him, his mission was to see me dead. And my mission, very secretly, was to live one more day. And he had me stripped and he poured kerosene. And this is something very common in India. And then few feet from where I was on the floor, the children were sleeping. And he was standing, he was blocking the door. If my children had not been there, I honestly would have lit because I wanted to burn him too. I was tired, it was biting me. I just felt like no dogs, no animals go through that. We had servants in the house. They had better lives than I did. And I thought, that's it, I'm done. I am so tired. But though I never verbalized God or Jesus or anything, I knew there was something that kept preventing me. I tasted lots of evil, but none could take my soul.
So you managed to get out. You did finally manage to leave.
I did.
And go to Canada with 2 of your children. 2 were left in India, was that?
No, I did manage to, my father-in-law actually didn't let me take any kids. So as I'm leaving alone, depressed, and just, I had nothing to look forward to. Just a little bag of belongings. I'm sitting all by myself, alone in the corner at the airport, and one woman who chose not to give up. Beautiful. Even though I was rude to her, I said, what do you want? Why are you still here? Can you leave? She didn't. And then finally she said, I came to tell you. And she touched me gently to say, Jesus loves you.
And you tried to ignore the persistency of her. And God, and it was God, that was coming after you through this Shelley in the book.
Right.
Saying, nope, I'm not going to give up on you.
No, and I was mean. I said, you must be a Jesus freak. And she didn't take offense to that. But she led me to the Lord. She prayed for me. I prayed. And she just said, you know what? Jesus is not a God that's up there. He can hear you. He can see you. He can feel you. And I want you to start talking to him.